Hi, welcome to another episode of Trail House. This is Simo. Today I want to show you how I keep my tow vehicle from being stolen. In the previous video, I showed you a few tips how to keep your trailer or travel trailer from being stolen. If you haven't seen that video, I suggest you go back and see that video. It's very interesting. What I showed in that previous video is the multiple layers of protection or security. We're going to show you the same thing here, but at a smaller scale. So I do have one effective system that I use for my tow vehicle. We all know that the chance of having your car stolen is very high these days. It doesn't matter if you if you drive an SUV, pickup truck, or minivan. You just never know. So I don't want to take that chance when I travel. I usually travel to places where I'm not familiar with those areas or states or cities. So I really don't let my guard down. So I always keep things in place. I lock the doors, windows, but also I use something that I'm going to share with you today. For my tow vehicle, after I secure my trailer, I have to secure my tow vehicle. On a tow vehicle, some people use those the steering wheel bar. We're all familiar with those. I almost was going to invest in something like that, but I decided not to because those are easy to defeat. And I've seen a lot of vehicles being stolen even with those bars on the steering wheel, and they just, the internet is just full of those videos. You can watch those. But I knew that it's not going to work. That's not going to be enough for me. So I start thinking about something else. And you know me, I'm a believer in just a basic chain and a padlock. And I decided to do the same thing here. I use the same system on my travel trailer. And I decided to do the same thing here for my tow vehicle. In the previous video, you heard me talking about a very heavy duty chain. And I think that's the key. So you want to get a very high quality chain, which is in this case, this is the Schlage. You heard me talking about it in the previous video. This is super thick chain. Now it doesn't come with this sleeve. This sleeve right here, this is just a bicycle inner tube, but it does come with a fabric sleeve. It's a nylon sleeve that is a good quality sleeve, but it's not long enough. So I just have an old inner tube, and I just used it to cover the chain, and this will protect the steering wheel and also reduces this noise. As you can see, you don't hear a lot of noise from this chain. The way this is good design, the reason why I like this one, because it has this ring here, because you can feed this side here through it, and then what you end up with, you can secure whatever you want to secure on this side. And then all you have to do is just use a padlock on this side, and you can end up with almost the whole 3 feet of that chain. The regular chain, the ones that don't have these large ring, whatever you're going to secure, you're always going to have to come back to this ring, because this is going to be the main one, okay? So you're always going to have to come back to it, meaning that whatever you're going to secure will have to have a width of no more than maybe 1.5 feet or so. They basically have those 3 feet long chains. So this is the reason why I prefer this. This is a hardened steel chain. This is no joke. This is heavy duty. It's super heavy. I'm talking to you, I'm holding it now, and I started to sweat because this is extremely heavy. Okay, it's hot, but this is a workout if you decide to hold it. This is really no joke. It's a very serious chain. It's very almost impossible to break, especially with bolt cutters. I do have 2 bolt cutters, and again, I use them on this one. I was unable to break this one. But is it unbreakable? No, it is breakable. But if you have to use some powerful tools, some power tools and things like that to break this. But who wants to do that while they're just trying to steal your car? But let me show you what I do very quickly. So I'm going to try to show you here. Hopefully you can see what I do. This whole system takes probably less than a minute for me to do, so it's not that complicated. Now the second piece is the padlock here, which is just a regular padlock. I usually recommend that you buy a high quality padlock, but in this case you can just buy a decent padlock. Just make sure the shackle is long enough, at least 2 inches long, because you're going to see why. The first thing we're going to do is try to get the chain around the steering wheel. Again, when I do this, I do it so fast that it takes me less than a minute to do, so it's not a really big deal. So all we got to do, just make sure you get around the steering wheel, and then you try to feed this ring, this giant ring right here. So that's all we have to do here. As you can see, now the steering wheel is secure, so we don't need a padlock on this side here. So we are going to apply the padlock to this end, and what we're going to do is we're going to connect the chain and either the gas pedal or the brake pedal, one of them. So you can do either one. I typically do the brake pedal because that is the closest to me, and also the chain is not long enough to reach the gas pedal. But I can't do that. If you have a longer chain, you can do that, or if you have a shorter, it just depends on your vehicle. This is a FJ Cruiser, so this works great for the brake pedal. So let me just turn the camera around and show you the bottom so you can see what I do here. All right, you have two options here. You can what I normally do, I just use the brake pedal. I use this section here. I don't use the gas pedal because this area here is not wide enough, and at this piece right here, it's not strong enough, so I really don't want to mess with the gas pedal at all. But for the brake pedal, as you can see, it's very strong. And what I am going to do is, what I normally do is just run the padlock through the ring. It's very difficult to do with one hand, but I'm going to try to do that. So that's what I do right there, and then just run it like so. I think I can do it with one hand. There you go, it's done. Keys out, and as you can see, this padlock is not going anywhere because this whole section is just super wide. This is just a rubber piece for your foot, but there is a large piece of metal underneath it, so this is not going to go anywhere. It just keeps it in place. Just bear in mind is that I don't try to pull hard, or you know, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm not abusing this at all. So it stays in place. As you can see, there's a lot of play here. Now the idea is, again, just to keep this steering wheel locked in place, so you won't be able to turn that steering wheel. So even if the thief manages to start the vehicle, they're going to they might accelerate, they're going to put it in drive, but they're not going to steer the vehicle. So they may just they may even change their mind and say, hey, I'm not taking this. Okay, so this is just basically a very basic system, and I do this all the time. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. Now, before I go, let me just give you some pricing on some of these equipments. The chain is the most expensive item here. It costs about $35–40. That's how much I paid for it. But the padlock, it's up to you. The padlock that I showed you is not a super high quality padlock. It's probably costs about $20 or so. So for less than $50, you can do this, and you can discourage the thieves. Now, the reason why I said you don't have to have a high quality padlock, because you see where it sits, it sits in a very tight spot, so it's very difficult for somebody to pick or break. So, and again, even with the bolt cutters, I tried, it's just, even if you get a grip on it, you're not going to be able to, you have to open the bolt cutters wide enough, and you're not going to be able to do that, to grab even that shackle, and that's not going to be easy to do for anybody to do. So that's the reason why I said you don't have to buy a very expensive padlock, but if you have the means, you can go ahead and do so, because again, this system, you can use it for so many other applications. I use it to secure my bikes all the time, so it's not a big deal. For less than $50, you can be assured that the thief, once they see the system, this chain is just unbelievable. So it's just very super heavy, just something that you would buy for life, and you're not going to regret it, because you can just use it for other things as well. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Until next time, take care.